You see, we live as though time is a river flowing in one direction. And yet, if we stop and look, it is more like a dance. Imagine a pond. You toss a pebble in, and ripples spread across the surface. You might think the ripples move outward, away from you. But who is to say? Perhaps the water itself moves, or perhaps it is the pebble that dances across the pond's being. And in this movement, we insist upon measuring tick, 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 hours, minutes, seconds. We draw lines in what is seamless, and we believe if we measure it carefully, we can master it. Yet mastery is a strange illusion, for time does not yield. We yield to time, or at least we imagine that it is yielding to us. It is a curious thing. From the cradle to the grave, we are taught to anticipate the future, plan for it, fear it. We carry calendars like talismans, schedules like shields, and yet life unfolds with a mind entirely of its own. You may be walking along the street, worried about the next meeting, the next event, the next obligation, and suddenly a child laughs, a bird soars, and the entire universe is right there, this very moment. And yet, so often we miss it, because we are busy in the tyranny of when, pretending that life exists somewhere else. Time is a trickster. You might remember a moment from decades ago with the vividness of a photograph, yet a minute ago can feel like an eternity. Why is it so? Because time is not something out there, something tangible, something we can grasp in the hand. Time is the way we as conscious beings perceive change. The past is a memory, not a place. The future is an imagination, not a certainty. And the present eludes us. It is not a tick on the clock. It is the very act of seeing, hearing, breathing. To live in the present is to be the river itself, not the stone tossed into it. Many of us try to hold time in our hands. We grasp at youth as if the body's elasticity is a possession. We store wealth as if it will purchase more of tomorrow than life will give. And in our minds, we race, always trying to outrun the inevitable. But the irony is exquisite. The harder we chase time, the more it slips through our fingers. You cannot catch the wind, and yet you cling to a shadow of it. Think of a melody. When you listen, do you focus on the first note or the last note? No. You are there, in the unfolding. The melody exists only in its becoming. And so it is with life. Time, when you watch it carefully, is not a line but a pattern, a weaving of moments that are inseparable from your perception. We pretend to master it, to stretch it, compress it, plan it, and label it. We set alarms to command it. We schedule ourselves into a kind of order that we think will tame it. But the truth, the subtle and exquisite truth, is that time is never mastered. It is experienced. It is a song we dance in, whether we know the steps or not. And here is the paradox. Our attempts to control time are in themselves part of the illusion. When you rush to finish a task, thinking that by finishing you will gain control, you have already surrendered to the very flow you wish to dominate. When you linger in a garden, noticing the moss on the stone and the sun through the leaves, you discover that you are not controlling anything at all, yet everything is unfolding perfectly. Control is a strange companion, always chasing, always restless, always imagining a future in which it is complete. But life does not meet our expectations. Life simply is. Consider fear. We fear the future as if it is a jagged cliff waiting to swallow us. And what is fear, ultimately? A story about what may happen, told in the language of time. The mind constructs a horizon, paints it with shadows, and then trembles at the imagined cliff. Yet in this trembling, life passes unnoticed. The present moment, the vivid, radiant now, is ignored because it is not bound by the stories of fear. To step into it is not to conquer time, but to dissolve the notion that we ever could. And what of death? Death is the great teacher of time. We cling to the illusion of continuity, thinking we will always have tomorrow. And yet every moment carries the seed of its own ending. To accept death is not to surrender to despair, but to recognize the absurdity of thinking time is linear, sequential, something to dominate. To die, truly to die, is to be fully present, fully aware that all movement, all change, all becoming is life itself. And when we see this, we understand that we are not passengers on a river. We are the river. Love, too, is a lesson in the illusion of time. You cannot command love. You cannot make it arrive or depart on schedule. It exists in the immediacy of connection, in the recognition that two beings, whether human, animal, or even the wind through the trees, touch and are touched. Love is a dialogue of moments, each one complete in itself, each one fleeting, yet eternal in its resonance. To pretend to master love is to miss it entirely. So, what is to be done? Nothing. Everything. There is no strategy for taming time because there is nothing to tame. There is no goal beyond the participation in life. And yet, paradoxically, in letting go, in surrendering to the flow, you discover freedom. When you stop attempting to seize life, life seizes you. And what a marvelous paradox it is. The act of giving up control is the act of truly living. We pretend to be pilots of time, mapping the past, predicting the future, steering the present like a ship through a storm. And yet, if we look carefully, the ship and the storm are inseparable. The waves are not obstacles, they are the music of the journey. The wind is not an enemy, it is the pulse of the ocean itself. The very illusion of time, the very idea that we could master it, is a play, a cosmic jest in which we participate without fully knowing the script. And this is the delight, the laughter, the music of existence. To see this is to awaken, not in some distant land or mystical temple, but right here now, in the sound of your own breath, the heartbeat that counts not minutes, but life. In the laughter of a friend, the sunlight on a leaf, the quiet wonder that always surrounds you. Time is an illusion, yes, but more than that, it is a mirror, reflecting your desire to hold, to plan, to control. And when you stop grasping, when you release, the mirror shatters, not into fragments, but into the seamless whole of experience. And so, the river flows, the pond ripples, the melody continues, the dance does not pause. And you are there, not outside it, not racing ahead, not clinging behind, but moving with it, in it, as it. Consider the ego, that persistent little actor upon the stage of consciousness, always whispering, I must arrive there first. I must finish, succeed, possess, secure. The ego measures life in units, in deadlines, in milestones, as if existence itself were a ledger to be balanced. And yet, what is the ego but a story we tell ourselves? A character invented to navigate the illusion of time? The moment you see this, truly see it, you realize the ego is both everything and nothing, a puppet dancing on the stage, while the stage itself is the whole universe. You are not merely the puppet, you are the play, the audience, and the space in which it all unfolds. When you are lost in thought, rushing to the next task, plotting the next event, you are not present. You are not here. Your mind is caught in a time trap of your own making. You imagine the future as a place to arrive, and the past as a place to mourn or celebrate. But the present is not a place. It is not something you can own. The present is the river of experience itself. And when you stop trying to master it, when you allow yourself to float in it, you discover that you have always been home. Now, let us speak of fear once more. Fear of the future, fear of loss, fear of time slipping away. These are illusions born of the mind's habit of imagining before it perceives. Have you noticed how often fear is a story we tell about moments that have not yet occurred? And when the moment finally arrives, it is always different from the story. Always. Fear is a ghost projected upon the canvas of consciousness. And when we confront it, when we watch it closely, it dissolves. Time loses its bite. Death, if it ever seemed sharp, becomes a gentle teacher, reminding us that there is no gap between life and death, no separation between then and now, no chasm between past and future. And what of love? Love, when genuine, is the ultimate teacher of the present. You cannot control love. You cannot trap it in a calendar or a plan. Love is an experience, a fluid exchange, a resonance between beings. It exists only in the act of giving and receiving, in the instant of recognition. When you try to possess love, to secure it against the erosion of time, it slips away. But when you let it flow freely, when you allow it to exist in its own rhythm, you find that it was never lost, that it was never separate from you, that it is woven into the very fabric of now. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a man walking through a forest. He is late for an appointment. His mind is occupied with schedules, obligations, the musts of life. And yet as he walks, he notices a butterfly. Its wings, delicate and shimmering, flutter in patterns he cannot predict. He stops, mesmerized. For a moment, he forgets his worries, his calendar, his past, his future, and in that moment, the forest, the butterfly, and the man are one. Time has vanished. The appointment may still exist, but it no longer binds him. He has discovered the eternity hidden in the ephemeral. This is the paradox of time. It only exists as we perceive it, and yet perception is never separate from experience. To pretend to master it is to deny life itself. The more we cling, the more we struggle. The more we yield, the more we awaken. It is a dance of opposites: effort and surrender, control and freedom, anticipation and presence. And the beauty lies not in resolving these opposites, but in living the tension, in being fully aware of the interplay. Notice how often we speak of time as saving it, wasting it, killing it. How curious that we treat it as a commodity when it is not something we possess, but something we participate in. Life is not a stockpile to manage. It is a performance, a dance, a song. And like any true performance, it exists only in the doing. The melody does not reside in the sheet music or the recording. It lives in the music making itself. So too, life lives in living, not in planning, not in controlling, not in resisting. And what of memory? Memory is a curious bridge. It allows us to return to what is past, to re-experience it, to create continuity. Yet memory is not the past itself. It is a reflection, filtered through desire, emotion, and imagination. We might cling to memory as though it were a treasure, and yet it is fluid, mutable, ephemeral. And in this mutability, we discover freedom. The past cannot imprison us unless we believe it does. The present is always present, shimmering, waiting for recognition. Even death, which we perceive as the ultimate boundary, is merely a transformation in the flow of experience. To fear death is to mistake the river for the pebble, the dance for the dancer. Life and death are not separate. They are a single rhythm, like inhalation and exhalation, like the rise and fall of waves. When we embrace this, the fear of time dissipates. Time is not a threat. It is a companion, a guide, a teacher, a song whose notes we cannot control, but whose music we can hear and dance to. And so, what does it mean to live fully? It means to recognize the illusion of time, to see that past and future are constructs, and that life exists only in the now. It means to release the need to control, to surrender to the flow, to participate in the dance. It means to see that effort and surrender are not opposites, but partners. It means to understand that your breath, your heartbeat, your gaze, your laughter, your tears, your love, your fear, all of it is time itself expressed in infinite variety. And in this surrender, there is a liberation beyond words. The tick of the clock no longer dictates your being. The calendar no longer binds your attention. The past does not haunt, the future does not worry, and the present is luminous, immediate, alive. You begin to notice the subtle music of existence, the rustle of leaves, the whisper of wind, the smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight. You begin to see that you are not apart from it, not separate, not racing. You are the unfolding, the flow, the dance.